Mhm.
And he was talking specifically. Now, Gavin Newsom, we know, is really going all out as trying to make himself like the fighter for the Democrats
Right.
because, he's setting himself up for the presidency in
Right.
2028, right?
Yeah.
And so he was addressing, like, he addressed several things, but this is what he had to say about ICE specifically.
Look, you- we had a 15-year-old disabled kid in Los Angeles was waiting for his sister to come out of high school, and they pulled out guns on this kid. They pulled out guns and handcuffed this young child. That's happening in the United States of America. Masked men jumping out of unmarked cars, people disappearing, no due process. No oversight, zero accountability happening in the United States of America today. People ask, well, is authoritarianism, you're being hyperbolic? Bull, we're being hyperbolic. If you're a black and brown community, it's here in this country. And so I'm deeply proud that I had the privilege of signing the nation's first bill to address the issue of masking, also to require you have simple identification, to your point. I mean, if some guy jumped out of an unmarked car in a van with a mask on, tried to grab me, I mean, by definition, you're going to push back. And so these are not just authoritarian tendencies. These are authoritarian actions by an authoritarian government. You saw what Stephen Miller said last week. This should put chills up spine. Called the Democratic Party an extremist organization, basically a terrorist organization, saying he's going after his enemies. You saw the tweet that Donald Trump sent out, True Social, basically telling Pam Bondi, I want these 3 people taken out. That's happening in the United States. This can't be normalized. None of this can be normalized.
So there's a few things there that are either out of context or don't have context.
More than
And
a few.
yeah, more than a few. So specifically in regards to the alleged ICE agents that jumped out, guns pulled, unmasked, and arrested a 15-year-old.
Explain.
Um, and then also there's like, if you listen to him, he doesn't provide any other details of that. So it
No.
sounds like they have arrested the 15-year-old and taken him away and disappeared, because then he moves
Right.
on to disappearing
Disappearing
people.
people.
So at the time, and this was actually, it wasn't ICE, it was a
Border
CB, yeah, Custom Border Patrol. Thank you. I forgot the acronym. They were conducting a targeted enforcement nearby, and the agents ordered, they approached the vehicle, and who was in the vehicle was the 15-year-old that Newsom mentioned. But the reason that they approached the vehicle is because of the boy's father that was in the driver's seat.
Mhm.
And they ended up, I think, they detained the teenager for about 20 minutes and the father until their identities were verified, and then they were released. So it was a case of mistaken identity. They were detained. The CBP alleges that there was no firearms drawn at the time.
Wow. So he's kind of making a fun story up in his mind.
Well, yeah. And I mean, like, yes, of course, the family says the young boy was traumatized. Look, these agents don't know. First of all, we don't even know this boy. Is this boy, um, he is disabled, but there's many disabled people that they are clearly disabled, or maybe they're not disabled. Also, this
Mhm.
is a 15-year-old. This 15-year-old could weigh 80 pounds. This 15-year-old could weigh 120 pounds. Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Like, we don't really know the context of it, but what we do know, or at least what we do know is what Gavin Newsom shared and what the CBP shares. And the CBP shared that they approached the vehicle because of the father, not the 15-year-old. So he makes it sound like the 15-year-old was just hanging out there waiting for
Right.
his sister and then was randomly arrested. They approached the vehicle because of the father. They detained them for 20 minutes. They then released them. And then they say that they claim that no firearms were drawn on the minor and that it was just a brief legal encounter, and they moved on.
Yeah.
So, and they emphasize that this is the protocol because of the high risk area. And the
Yep.
fact is that we're in a high risk situation. So, of
Yep.
course, I would expect law enforcement to handcuff people that they're detaining and investigating
Right.
so they don't run, so they don't hurt
Yeah.
themselves, so they don't hurt others. But this is the continued language that is happening right before we now have this. We have seen this rise of attacks on ICE agents.
Yeah.
And there's this narrative too about them being masked because Newsom just passed a law, which is bogus, frankly, in the state of California, making it illegal for law enforcement or for ICE to be masked when they are in the state executing warrants. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I think it's fun for him, but they have no jurisdiction over what federal agents do. So I don't even know what the point to that was.
No. But
Frankly.
when you